Where do I even begin on today's guests? His business interests range from oil and gas, information technology, aviation to film. And the list is endless. Well, politically, he is a force to reckon with in Rivers State, and he's a prince of the Kalabari Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Prince Tonye Princewill. Prince Tonye Princewill. Wakanda. Yeah,
How are you doing, bro?
You're welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yes, Prince Tonye Princewill in the building.
Thank you.
Wow, a double prince. All right, you're welcome. It's so good to have you here. Rivers State, your state, has been in the news lately.
It's always in the news.
For good and bad reasons. All right? And I know that you're friends with Governor Amechi, you're friends with Governor Wike, you're friends with Magnus Abe, Senator. And you know the situation, the state of their relationship.
I don't know if I'm friends with Governor Wike, but...
Okay.
Yeah, well...
But you guys used to be close.
Well, we're friends. Let's say we're friends.
You're all friends. Maybe not political friends now. Okay. So what is happening in Rivers State? And as somebody who, one way or the other, you cut across all these people, what are you doing to make sure that we bring peace, at least for the benefit of Rivers people?
Look, you're right, absolutely. I think what really should matter is not about individuals or personalities. What should really matter is the state.
Yeah, I agree.
But unfortunately, too often, the politicians, especially the ones in the lead, don't take that responsibility to say to themselves, forget differences, let's move the state forward. Sometimes peace is actually a result of a Cold War. Look at America, look at North Korea, threatening and so on. Eventually they found some level of peace. I want to think that the same will happen in the case of Rivers State. Wike, I mean, no matter how tired I am, no matter how tired I am, just seeing Wike on television, I find the strength to stand up and turn off the TV.
Wow.
That's really...
Wow, that's heavy.
Really, I mean, my governor embarrasses me on a regular basis, but what do I do? I mean, what we have is what we have. We have to deal with what we've got. So we're hoping for peace, but of course 2019 is loading, and by God's grace there'll be an opportunity to change him.
Yeah, it looks like 2019 is the year that will correct so many things.
We're hoping. We're hoping.
Yeah. Anyways, like they say, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but what we are expecting is that there will be peace in the one-time garden city so that the people of that state can begin to fully enjoy the dividends of democracy instead of worrying about the disputes between some big elephants.
We deserve it.
All right. I haven't said that. You have been there, done that. You've been in politics, oil and gas, aviation, just name it. And recently, you went into movie making.
I did.
Yes.
I did.
Now, having experienced movie making, what would be your advice to those who are sitting on the fence and wondering this sector that has been so successful in places like America, with the advances that Hollywood, we just talked about Wakanda now, you see the kind of money that it brought in for Hollywood.
I did.
Yeah, so what would be your advice to potential investors in the sector?
No, you've got to be smart about your investments. I think most people consider box office as the only source of revenue. In filmmaking, you have about 10 sources of revenue. And what I find with most filmmakers is that they only focus on box office sales. They also don't even think about DVD sales because of piracy.
Yeah, piracy is a major problem.
It's a major problem, but it can be addressed. What we did with 76 was we focused on a variety of other platforms. So for us, we talked about international sales. I mean, 76 signed a $10 million deal. And a $10 million deal on a movie in Nigeria, it's never happened before.
I saw 76, great movie,
Thank
good
you so
job.
much. Thank you.
And me personally, coming from a military background, my father served in the army.
Okay.
So when I saw the depiction of the military, it was on point.
I tell you
especially in that era.
We had the whole top brass of the army watch the film.
Yeah.
And they looked at it and they thought to themselves, how did you guys get this level of detail? I mean, we started...
You guys did well with detail.
Thank you. And what we did... Thank you. So what we're trying to achieve is we wanted to show a different image of Nigeria. If you sit back, look at what Black Panther is telling us, look at what other movies are telling us, it's an opportunity to showcase a different side of Nigeria. Yeah. Most people ask me, why politics, why film? the whole point, the whole purpose is, I'm a businessman, but I'm asking myself, the impression people have of Nigeria, the impression they have of Nigerian politicians, individuals can make a difference in that regard. And that's what we're trying to do with 76.
So based on this experience, I want to believe that your advice to potential investors in our movie industry will be go ahead.
Go ahead, but pay attention to detail. Focus wider than Nigerian box office. If you watch a movie in Nigeria, 2,500 naira, for instance, you go to watch the same movie in London, you pay about equivalent of 7,000 naira. So you're losing on all fronts if you're talking about just Nigerian box office sales.
Okay, away from movies a little, what is your take on the state of the nation right now?
Well, look, it depends on how you look at it. Most people complain, and they don't tell you about what the solution is. They don't tell you that this is the problem. People say, for instance, Buhari out. But when you ask them who should replace him, there's silence. The problem we have in Nigeria is that most people are just analysts. They will analyze the problem, but they can't come up with solutions. So for me, I think to myself as a young person who should be guiding other young people. I say today that our youth generally are a bit of a disgrace, and I say it with all intents and purposes, because all they want to do is follow. They don't want to lead. They never want to lead. And why don't they want to lead? Because they can't feed themselves. Why can't they feed themselves? Because they don't have the resources. Why don't they have the resources? Because they lack courage. So we're trying to say to them that, look, you don't have to be a big man. You don't have to know a big man. I didn't know any big man, and I came into politics and ran for governor. How did I do that? Because I dug deep. I didn't rely on politicians to give me money. I went and worked hard.
You know what?
Now, I can go into more detail, but the point I'm trying to make is that the youths have to say to themselves, enough is enough.
Yeah.
These old guys will go.
I was exactly going there when you said people talk about problems. No, I think people are beginning to talk solutions now. But the problem is that when you think
Please
of
tell me who.
Now, when you think of, I know lots of people
who
have been able to articulate a way forward. But when you do that, who do you take it to?
No.
Yeah.
Are you talking about proposals?
That's what can if you're not part of a sitting government, like the situation we find ourselves now. No, the situation we are in right now.
Rewind. You know why I'm telling you to rewind?
Yeah.
I'm telling you to rewind because being part of the government or the sitting government is the problem. You need to be the one that forms the government. And who votes for the government?
Now, you talked about Nigerians always counting problems and not offering solution. You have a 4-year cycle. If a government is halfway into that cycle and you have this beautiful idea how to move things forward, how do you make it happen?
Okay, I can answer the question. I don't know how much time we have.
Yeah.
But you see what...
But hold it. When we come back, we'll start on you trying to answer the question.
No
Don't
problem.
even go anywhere.
No problem.
We are still here. It's still the other news. And of course, we have the Prince, the double Prince talking about it. Don't even move. Welcome back. It's still the other news. And I'm talking to politician and entrepreneur, Prince Tonye Princewill. Yes.
You're grilling me.
No.
But it's okay.
I'm not grilling you. You were saying something before we went on that break. Yeah, I did say that sometimes you have this wonderful idea. Most people have this wonderful idea about how to get things done. But the different layers of, how do I put it, political hurdle that you will have to cross to get to where these good or wonderful ideas will be implemented is something that sometimes you don't even want to embark on.
No, but you have to. Look at Mandela.
How?
Stuck in prison, apartheid. There are some impossible situations you find yourself and people sit down and they work their way out of it. Yeah. That's what I'm expecting the young generation to do. Yeah. Now, when people say, Tonye, you're pro-APC. Of course I'm pro-APC. I'm asking myself, I'm looking at all of the mess in our political space and I'm asking myself, which one is the best vehicle to use to get us out of our predicament?
So you're not thinking a third force?
No, I'm not thinking a third force. Because
Why?
I've done the third force before. Okay. It doesn't work.
Yes. Now talking about you doing a third force before, yes, because that takes me back to some of your political antecedents. We know that, at some point you were with Labour Party, you were with PDP, you were with APC before, then PDP.
What does that tell you?
Yeah.
It tells you that
you move around a lot.
No. No, you see, it doesn't tell you that. What it tells you is that I know about them.
Okay.
So if I'm speaking, listen.
Yeah.
I know about PDP very well.
Yeah.
I know about APC very well. And I know about the people. I mean, you've talked about my film. If you look at my history and my track record, you see that my allegiance is not to political party. My allegiance is to the people of the state, the people of Nigeria, especially the youths. Okay. That is why I said to you that if you're here and you don't like where you are, and you look at where you want to go, you have to ask yourself, how do you get there? There's no difference between our political parties and football clubs. Each one is looking for winning the title. Yeah. You go, like a player will move from Arsenal to Manchester United because Arsenal is not winning anything. Sorry, Arsenal fans, look at no vex, I beg. But you know what I mean? Yeah. So they will move, they say, let me move to where I can win. Now, I moved, but I'm not contesting. Why am I not contesting? Because I don't want people to think that I'm moving just because I want to run for an election. I'm moving because I believe that all politics is local. And in my state, I have a governor that my children call up and say, Daddy, is that our governor? And I say, well, I can explain. You know, I'm saying to them, I'm saying to them that, look, guys, don't be mad. He's our governor, but not for long. Okay, so how are we going to get rid of him? So I'm thinking, okay, the way to get rid of him is you join APC, because if I'm in Labour and there are different political opposition parties, we need to join forces to compete against them. That's what you need to do. Yeah. That's why I don't believe in the idea of the third force, because what the third force does is dissipates the opposition. Okay. So if you're PDP and you want APC out, then you should coagulate under a PDP and try and chase APC out. Okay. But you can see that the opposition is not doing a good job of that. I think in Rivers State, we are doing a good job of...
so basically what you're saying to us, listening to you on the show now, is that you're satisfied with the performance of this government?
Absolutely not.
Even when majority of the people are complaining?
Unfortunately, in Nigeria, it's black or white. Yeah. You're either pro-APC or pro-PDP. Nobody understands the shades of grey in between. Okay. For me, I always say that politics is local. So I ask myself, people complain about Buhari, but do they complain about their own governors? Do they complain about their local government chairman? 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. They're only bothered about what's going on in Abuja. I don't think that way.
So what you're saying now is if you can't beat them, join them. Because your analogy simply means right now the other side cannot beat the sitting government. So what do I do? Sitting with the sitting government.
No, but I'm not doing so in Rivers State.
No. What we are saying is we are talking generally now. We are not trying to.
You're talking nationally.
Yes,
that's what you should do.
We are speaking generally because I cannot just dwell on your state alone. Because there are people who are listening to us who belong to other states. Good. Not your state, maybe controlled by one party or the other. Good. And we are talking solution here.
I'm thinking if you're in an opposition to your state governor, for instance, you should you should consolidate the opposition so that you can challenge that state governor. I don't like to use the word fight because it sounds deconstructive.
Okay, from what you're saying, I figure that you're not particularly pleased with how things are happening on your state level. Yes. And you're worried and you want to bring about change. Absolutely. But on the federal level, you think it's working fine? No,
of course not. On the federal level...
So why are we not talking about changing it as well?
I am. I'm saying that the PDP and the third force element should join forces to challenge the APC.
The federal. Thank you. Why do you do your own on the state level? But it makes sense.
Now let me say a bit more. I mean, with the APC, why I'm supporting the APC at the federal level is not because I'm ecstatic about what they're doing. Areas where I would like to see significant improvements. There's no doubt about that. But I see that the intentions. When I see an Osibanjo, I'm strengthened. I'm happy. I like him. Okay. When I say Buhari, I like the resilience. There's some places where I think he's a bit too rigid, but I like the resilience. He is a nightmare to the average PDP person. Those ones that are used to stealing.
And you don't think he's a nightmare to the average Nigerian?
Well, you see, let me tell you about the average Nigerian. No, let me tell you about the average Nigerian.
Yeah, because I don't think people of Benue State will share your opinion.
I agree. Yeah. But when I was in Rivers State and people were being killed by the federal government, I didn't share that opinion either. Okay. But you see, the reality of it is that this pain has been moving around. We want it to stop, not just for the Benue people, but for all Nigerians. Okay. And let me ask you a question. I was scared
you were going to say let the pain move around.
No. I want it to stop. Okay. But let me ask you a question. I think it's quite interesting. If you have a bad tooth, and this bad tooth is paining you, and the doctor comes to remove it, hopefully he's not on strike, right? Yeah. And he's coming to remove this tooth. As he's coming to remove this tooth, because of the pain of removing the tooth, will you tell him that he should not remove the tooth? The answer is no. For us to take this system to where it needs to go, we have to go through some pain. Yeah. That pain, we can either bear it now or avoid it, and it will kill us later.
Yeah, but you know, some people don't. Following.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Those are the use of Nigeria.
While it makes sense, the way you have put it, I want you to also remember that it was this same pain we were feeling during the last dispensation that we decided, you know what, we need to go through pain to solve that pain. And that was why at the time people went for change. Now change came with worse pain.
I don't know. See, let me tell you.
Yeah, so are you saying that there's still another level of pain that we should prepare ourselves for? You understand? Before we now finally...
No, for people like you and me who work for a living,
yeah,
and we know where our money is coming from, the truth of the matter is that the current pain we're going through is not as bad as for those who have been relying on free money.
Is it for you or are you speaking for everybody now?
Don't you work for a living?
No, because you're not speaking for me now.
Okay.
I know the pain I used to feel and the pain I'm feeling now.
No, but
okay.
You see, this is the very slight difference is that this our work for a living, the pain we're going through, it's not the same as people who just sit down and wait for politicians to dash them money. Yeah. You know, that's how it has been. Yeah. There's been a lot of free money flying around. Sometimes
is it not flying
sometimes,
anymore?
No, sometimes...
Is it not flying again?
Because if you go to the airport, you won't see the private jets as before. It's not the same number. So the reality is that this pain is slightly uncomfortable. But
okay, Tonye.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Because I know you are the one asking questions.
Okay, go ahead.
What's the alternative?
What's the alternative?
Yeah.
Okay, if you ask me,
yes,
it is not my interview, but it's yours.
No, but
if you ask me, the alternative that we have now, like you said, is we need to look at the country again. If you ask me personally, I think that all the people who have tried before and have not delivered should go and rest. Okay? Yes, everybody who has been given a chance. Nigeria is 180
So what you're saying?
Nigeria, hold on.
See the problem with you.
You asked the question, let me answer.
This is the problem with you.
No, you asked the question, let me answer.
This is the problem with the youth.
Yeah, you asked the question, let me answer. Nigeria is 180 million people. Okay? If you make your contribution and it's taking us nowhere, then bow out honorably. Okay?
Let me ask you a
let
question.
Other people get the center stage.
Let me ask you a question.
Let people with fresher ideas try.
No,
they also deserve a chance to fail.
Let me tell you, because of internal party because of internal party democracy, you don't just wish these things.
No, but internal party democracy, these are things that we brought on ourselves. Are we going to die in it?
So the question is, how do you change it?
No, of course. That is why we have...
So because you have PDP now. PDP has...
No, this country is not all about PDP and APC.
Actually,
there are lots of people in this country who don't even care about those two parties.
Actually, the politics of this Nigeria, that is all it is.
No, for now, I'm being very honest.
That is where we are now.
But that is why you're beginning to see...
And I want to hope that we, the young people, can actually be realistic and say to ourselves, okay, this is where we are. The reality right now is two parties. It's not three. It's not four. It's two. And
that is what...
We need to change.
No, that is... No.
Okay.
That is what the people... In these two parties want us to believe. No, there are two options. But I tell you that Nigerians on the street, all right, are beginning to see beyond that.
Don't go through my experience.
No, maybe, yeah.
I'm trying to save you time.
No, let me tell you. 2019.
I'm trying to save you time.
2019 will throw up a lot of surprises. We'll watch and see. You know, we saw lots of surprises in 2015. 2019 will come with lots of surprises.
Okay, do you think people vote?
Whether people will vote, we'll live to see. We are not witch doctors.
I'm not asking you. I'm not saying.
Okay, let me take other questions.
I'm not talking the future.
You're the one. You've taken over my.
Sorry.
Let me bring you back home. Yes, you're an old boy of Federal Government College, Port Harcourt. Yes.
Proud old boy.
What has happened? We're talking education now. Yeah. The unity schools are no longer what they used to be.
It's crazy. I mean, really, our educational system has pretty much collapsed. I went to unity, you went to unity school.
Yeah.
We grew up in the midst of people from all ethnic. In fact, just yesterday night, I was in a reunion with some of my old boys. One of us had come in from the UK for his mother's 80th birthday. And there was Umar Ali Biu from Borno State, different people from different parts of the country all converged, and we're laughing and cracking jokes. You know, that camaraderie, that one Nigeria spirit, the younger generation are not seeing much of it today. Yeah. So it's a pity. But one positive sign that has come out of it, and I'm sure you've already seen it as well, different sets of different unity schools have been going back to their school to give back.
Yeah, while government is kind of sleeping.
Government has been sleeping, I have to confess.
Are you saying that our educational sector is going through any kind of a re-energizing, renewal, restructuring that is visible
look,
to anybody?
The only thing I think we can say now is that you have budgets that are being,
Don't even talk about our budget.
Well,
we don't even know where it is.
Out of my own Rivers budget. Rivers State, we've seen no budget since 2015. 2015.
Each state has their own problem.
No, our own is unique.
We're not going to worry about
even
only you and your Rivers State.
Even Black Panther cannot solve our own problem.
You understand?
No budget since 2015.
In fact, the entire country needs
but what I was going
overhauling.
to say is that at least in the budget now, the federal budget, you have. I mean, I've never seen this before.
That may be approved, maybe God willing, before middle of the year.
We're talking of 2018, but 2017 budget, there was a provision for education. The provision for education
There's always
was
provision.
No, but they tried. They tried. I think what you find with this guy is that you are spending money you have, not money you don't have.
When will we stop trying, safe, and start achieving
My brother, it's a question all of us are asking. But some of us have to answer the questions.
What is in your future, Tonye?
Well, let me tell you
What is the plan?
Let me tell you the truth.
Now that you want the man in your state removed, are you the one to remove him?
No. See, I will be part of
What
the
is the
ones.
plan?
I want to be part of the ones to remove him.
You're not running for office?
But I don't want to run, no. And the reason I don't want to run is several reasons. But one of the reasons, I don't believe that you just join a party to contest an election. I'm not comfortable with that. Okay. I think what I'd like to do is join the party and serve, work, be one of the workers. That's what our young generation should be prepared to do. Okay. And if you do that,
is that one of the lessons learned from several years of attempting to serve?
I think so. And I've done it twice. I've done it twice. And I think that, at my age, I'm almost 50, I think I should allow the younger generation to come up and also contest.
Really? That's interesting.
No, I think so.
So that means you're in agreement with me that both on the federal and state level, younger people should take over. Let all the old people go and rest.
No. I'm not. I don't believe.
You want to change it?
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that it should be a blanket. Because you're young, you should come and contest. My brother, have you seen the people coming behind us?
Tonye, you change these things so often that
there's one guy I saw in the audience. If that guy becomes governor, that tall guy, I don't know his name. If that guy becomes governor, now, but me and you go, run, come out for this town. No. Do you understand? It's not that simple. I think you can be young, but you also must be forward-thinking, and you must have vision and ideas. It's not all about age.
So it shouldn't apply to all levels?
No, what I think should happen is that the young people should be encouraged. And if they stand up to the test of it, then they should be given the opportunity.
Tonye, thanks for talking politics.
Thank you.
Wow!
Thank you.